We are in Kiev, where a bomb can just go down right here in the studio, and you are here with us. Thank you so much in behalf of Polish TV. And I'm really happy to meet you because you're the leader woman, one of the women who has been in charge in the very crucial Ministry of Inner Affairs, which happened to be for you in the beginning of the war.
Yep.
Did you expect in 2019 that this second part of the war is going to happen?
Thank you for receiving me. Thank you to you that you are here in Kiev with us. Polish people was the first who actually was supportive to, on regular basis, was supportive to government level. And actually the Polish people was the one who was never afraid to cross the border of Ukraine. Definitely in 2019, even in 2021, we didn't expect that conventional war which we faced in February 2022. If you are in politics, if you get a lot of intelligence information, you expecting that there gonna be a provocation, which we did. We were expecting to different type of provocation. We were expecting to escalation on the east of the country front line, which is ongoing from the 2014. But we never expected that we will had and received missiles across the country, and we never expect that the columns of the tanks gonna actually riding in each city and village, which we're actually witnessing, and the whole world witnessing. Of course, it was unbelievable stress for everyone, but specifically to the leaders who was in positions to take decision at that moment. The migration was our task and headache. Evacuation was our task and headache. So we were responsible for ensuring and guarantee security at the streets, at the cities and villages. We were responsible for the taking part in active combat actions, because we have National Guard in our structure. So I mean, the leadership of the Ministry of Internal Affairs from the beginning of the large-scale invasion was engage in everything what's happening at the moment in the country. You are going much more broader in taking responsibility what you are doing and what is requesting at that moment society from you, and actually situation from you.
As a deputy of ministry, a woman deputy, you've passed this test, if I can say like this. You've passed the test. You've been ordered 2 orders from the Spanish king and from the President of France. Those 2 orders has only one person in Ukraine, and I'm speaking to that person.
But that whole year, when you are working about 20 hours per day, you never think about the words, you never think about orders, you know. You just doing what you can do, and my feeling at that specifically for first few months was that if I'm gonna lose or miss even one mobile phone call, it's gonna destroy our defense and our security. So I was trying to reach out any person who is trying to call me, or any suggestion to support to people and to government to sustain, to be resilient, to provide support to foreigners or Ukrainians, anyone who need that support. It's hard work was done. Not just saving our own lives, our families, Ukrainians, but each single person, including foreigners in our country.
How in this crucial moment, when the war is just around the fence, how to cooperate with men? How did it look like on the gender basics? Like, did you had any moments of doubt that I'm just a woman and they want me, they don't treat me as I would like me to be treated?
You know, this feeling was completely as you describe right now. When I entered Ministry of Internal Affairs first time, it was 20 2015 after revolution in Ukraine. So the new teams entering a lot of ministries, and I was the one who came as a director of Department of International Cooperation, and it was former Ministry of Militia, and usually on these top level positions was only men's, only high rank men's who served almost 25-30 years before. And that was completely destroying fact that I'm a young woman, 29 years old at that moment, entering and getting the position the same they are. So that was, of course, a huge condemnation. It was challenging first couple of years, or was quite challenging when we started reforms, when we started transformation, when we started implementing European standards, a philosophy actually of how the institution, even institution which is responsible for security or defense, should be much more open, should be much more transparent, should be able to integrate women's in the leadership.
Tell me, please, the moments that you thought like it's too much. I'm quitting. It's too much. I cannot.
From
handle
my
it.
perspective.
Yeah, from your perspective.
Yeah, it was. You know, when you are entering to the meetings room and everyone is men and looking at you and saying, "Oh, this young girl have to say something to us." So she have any type of ideas or even responsibility to think about that important and very strong topics which we are covering, like criminal code, like investigation, like transformation.
Ministry of Inner Affairs has so many difficult issues.
It was about criminality, it was about criminal code, it was about security and guarantee of security in the whole country. So they was shocked that they are generals and they are, colonels having a huge experience and background in this organization, have to listen me, a young girl, who was saying, but in European countries we have this type of experience. Let's try to implement this experience in our reality. And I was just saying, oh my God, we are working like this last 40 years. What you are talking about? Everything is good in our life.
Yeah, what to change? We don't need to change anything.
It was shocking for me, and I was saying, oh my God, this is the wall which I never, go through.
Yeah.
But again, there was some frustrating moment. But again, you are coming back to your office, thinking a little bit and saying, okay, you make a huge commitment until now, and you have to push until you will get some result of your work and your teamwork.
You've been opening the doors, and the wind of democracy was coming with you. For them, it was a symbol of democratization. They probably were not ready for it. Maybe they needed a time. Which feature of your character was you would stress as the most important to open the door and kick out everything what doesn't have anything in common with democratization, of equality, of gender?
I think self-confidence. First of all, you have to be sure that the values and the ideas which you are proceeding and pushing, they are really basis on which you can ally. The second important thing is perseverance. When you understand that if not you, who gonna push that? So you have to show to your team that you are going to achieve a result whatever happened around, whatever is challenging you. So you have to follow your strategy which you are choosing, and to demonstrate that you can actually protect the values and ideas which your team actually is working on quite long time. You never can do anything alone. You always rely on your team, but your team should be confident and inspired by your own your own movement, your own.
How many women were that time in the Ministry of Inner Affairs that you
It was
cooperated with?
very few. I believe about, I don't know, 6-7%.
Okay.
Now this figure is much more bigger. So we have 25-30% of women in police forces. So we increase the number of women in the National Guard, which is law enforcement agency with the military responsibility. Of course, I'm not talking about this wartime period, because we mobilized a lot of men's. And this balance and figures decrease right now. From the first day of invasion of Russia, I mean 2014, a lot of women was voluntarily enter the army forces. If we can highlight it, how many women who have in volunteers who supporting the army but not entering army, it's 100,000 of people. It's like each single woman doing something for army, for
candles for the soldiers.
Absolutely.
From
someone doing candles in their homes while kids, it's like, you know, growing. Someone is just delivering and making logistical part of delivery some goods. So there is a lot of different roles in which women are ready and demonstrate huge capacity to support army and to support our soldiers in the front line. I believe that maybe we're gonna transform in some point to make kind of more inclusive the opportunity for women to serve, but I believe it's negative scenario could push to this. So if we are feeling that the war gonna continue for next few years, of course there is no more capacity to mobilize 100,000 of men. Of course, in that point we're gonna have a situation that we're going to be forced to ask women to take guns and weapons and start to fight.
What do you think? It can happen? The war can last for over more than 1-2 years now?
Hopefully no. But this is very much depends on our partners. Whenever partners will stop to support us, the scenario could be much more negative than we could imagine even today. So, of course, Ukrainian society don't want and not ready to have another, 2 or 3 years war. It's gonna kill the whole economy. It's gonna kill the biggest part of the country and the biggest part of our people. And we don't want to think about this.
Yeah. I know there is a need for a weapon of long-range target, which is needed. This topic is hard. It depends on a global scale policy. But what you, women in Ukraine, are doing right now, which is amazing, as a member of Dobrobat, yes, the charity organization, you take care of veteran women to displace them.
This is a specific organization, a Ukrainian NGO, which is focused specifically on rebuilding the damaged houses. We have registered about 50,000 volunteers in our organization across the country. We, for this moment, rebuild and recover about 3,000 objects, like houses and social infrastructure objects. And of course, when you are entering the village, which was under the shellings and has a huge damaged infrastructure, you can see there mostly older women, young women with the kids, and mostly the women who couldn't take care about them because of the circumstances. Not all of them ready to protect themselves. They can protect their kids, they can take care about their lives, but they couldn't renew the rooftop or the windows or something. And of course we focused on this category of people who is needed rapid support and quick recovery to be able to live in their houses. So this is very sensitive stories. Whenever you meet that people, you couldn't actually be strong and you just crying because this is the single story of each family.
The audience of Polish channel TVP Kobieta, they are fragile on this topic because I can probably say that we created a series of documentaries about mothers, women and grandmothers who just came from just past the border. And do you see in this area of communication between Poles, women from European Union and Ukrainians to solve new and develop new perspective to cooperate and learn one from each other?
Definitely. I remember first days when I came to the border of Ukrainian-Polish border, witnessing these millions of women and kids trying to cross the borders. And I was looking at you with a kind of, a huge question, what's going to happen with us? Who's going to take care about us? We are never gonna have our happy life again. And I believe European women could play a role of mediators or communicators who can just relax a bit to Ukrainian women, who can support them calm down, who can support them find their new role in new reality. That millions of people and a huge amount of women right now are staying in Poland. And 1.5 years plus, it does not mean that they are starting new life. They are still living in that shock. They are still living in that transformation of their personality, of their reality. They are still stressed what future gonna have their kids.
What's really optimistic is that during the last year, women startups are leaders in the Ukrainian. Amazing. This is something you've expected?
We had developing economy in 2022, and I would say the figures very interesting that in 2022 47% of new startups and personal small businesses was registered by women. But in 2023 this number is growing, and now we have 51% of the new startups and companies and small businesses registered by women. In one hand, this is very optimistic because women is very strong to take responsibility while they are men in front line. In another hand, it means that in the future this is gonna grow. So as long war is going on, as much Ukrainian women will be forced to take responsibility and to take leadership for their families, for their businesses, for their regions and cities and villages.
We're just about the second anniversary of the war. Using your educational background, because you've graduated Oriental Studies, you know Arabic, and using your experience from democratization of Ukraine, tell us where we would find the Ukrainian women in 5-10 year time after the war.
I believe Ukrainian women in 5 years will be the most important speakers and educators across the world how to tackle crisis, how to be optimistic, how to survive, how to take care about your kids and your country. And I wish the war will end and our country will get a victory and sustainability, and we're gonna have a fully membership in European Union soon, and hopefully in that moment Ukrainian experience gonna support Europe to secure and save themselves more using the experience of Ukraine.
I hope to see those women very soon in Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Slava Ukraini, and glory to our best friends of Polish people.
Thank you so much.